Hey, all you good people. It's the Reverend Stephen McHale. It's a quiet Thursday here at church. I'm in the church. Bear and I just came over to visit this lovely holy space. And I thought I'd send my video from here. No action shots this week. No mountain biking or hiking or water skiing. None of that stuff. It's just me walking around in a church with a dog. Now, I know that some folks might not be thrilled to see a dog in the church, but there's actually apparently a very long tradition of dogs and farm animals in European churches. And part of the reason the railings around the altar were developed back in the day was to keep the animals out of the most sacred space. But the rest of the sanctuaries, in addition to functioning as worship spaces, were also sort of the place where the town met. A lot of business took place there. Even animals were traded, and people lived much closer to their animals back in the day. So they, slept with their cows and their dogs and their chickens, and it was not a big deal for those beasts to be wandering around the church. But today our norms have changed, of course. So we've got to be a little more careful about that. Okay, enough dog talk in church. Let's see, coming up this weekend, it is Labor Day weekend, which is traditionally one of the most poorly attended Sundays in the church year. But I'm hoping that we can break that habit this time, because it will be Elizabeth Hood's very first Sunday preaching in church. And it'd be great to get a bunch of folks out to see that, especially all you people who are under 4 feet tall. I think it's going to be a sermon sort of targeted at the little pipsqueaks, and it'd be fun to have a good crowd there. Let's see, then the week after that, the office will be closed on Monday because it's Labor Day. And then the following Sunday, which is already September 8th, and I'm kind of mad at the universe that time elapses this quickly, but not much I can do about it. September 8th is our Back to Church Sunday. We're going to have a big Back to Church service. The choir will be back. The liturgy will change up. And then after church, there's going to be a celebration in the parish hall. We'll have some hot dogs on the grill. There'll be a couple bouncy houses, and all the ministries of the church are going to put out sort of displays hawking the various ways in which folks can get involved in the life of Christ Episcopal Church. We would love to see you there. All right, as I walk along our beautiful sanctuary here, I am looking down at the pews of the church. And as you may or may not know, our buildings and grounds team for quite a long time has been working on hand sanding and, well, I guess machine sanding, but, themselves, sanding and then staining and then sealing every single pew in this church. And it is a monumental undertaking, saving the church, gosh, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Here you can see the latest completed beautiful shiny pew. And then right next to it, you can see one that has now been sanded, but is not yet finished. That means shortly, the crew will be in and will put a stain on the pew, and then they'll put on the shiny stuff. And I think it's 1 layer of stain and 2 layers of shiny stuff, or I may have that backwards, to give these pews a whole lot more life and durability. And amazingly, we are down. Once this one is done, this row, we got 2 of them over here, or 1 on each side. After that, we only have 1 left, 1 row left. This old worn pew that was given to the glory of God in thanksgiving for the many blessings bestowed upon us. Dr. Gosh, this plaque is so old I can hardly read it. Mrs. Let's see. I think it's No, it's Mr. and Mrs. John Lambert, 1965. So you can see it's ready for some refurbishing. We are going to have to put on a new plaque on one of the pews with no plaque, perhaps this one or this one. And that plaque needs to commemorate the work of Andrew Hartman and Joyce Nelson and Andy Nelson. The Hartman family has almost single-handedly organized this entire project. They've been coming in on Fridays, and they have to cover this whole church with, not the whole church, but much of the church literally with plastic stuff, like to keep all the dust off the organ. Then they come in here and make an absurd amount of noise running a bunch of sanders. And then the staining and the finishing after that. And it's a giant undertaking. So if you wouldn't mind and you see Andy, Andrew, or Joyce, please give them your gratitude for the comfort and the shininess of all of these seats. And remember that it is little and sometimes big acts like this that make a community go. People just doing their part to keep this church beautiful and running and ready to serve all kinds of folks. May God bless all you people, and may you find some rest from your labors. You can see Bear has done that right now. May you find some rest from your labors and some time to share the blessings you have received with the people you love. Take care of yourselves, folks.